All right, let's talk about the strange world of modern celebrity. You know how someone can be celebrated one minute and criticized the next for totally different things. And we're going to use Kristen Bell as our guide here, because her story is a perfect example of this paradox. Okay, let's dive in.
So why Kristen Bell? Well, what's been happening with her lately is kind of the perfect storm. It really shows you that whiplash effect of being famous today. You know, the incredible highs and some really weird lows. Her story, it's bigger than just her. It actually tells us a lot about celebrity culture as a whole.
And check this out. This is really the whole thing in a nutshell. On one hand, you've got people intensely judging her for what she wears, a fashion choice. But on the other hand, at the exact same time, she's getting praised for doing some seriously impactful humanitarian work. It's like two totally different stories about the same person. So let's start with the criticism first.
All right, so first up, being judged by the wardrobe. We're talking about that super critical lens that gets pointed at something as, personal as what you decide to wear. For a celebrity, it seems like every single outfit becomes a topic for public debate. It's pretty intense.
And the criticism wasn't just, oh, I don't like that dress. It was pointed. I mean, listen to this quote from a Static Media article about an outfit she wore. They said she missed the appropriateness mark and called it a grab for attention. So see, it wasn't just about the clothes anymore. It was a judgment on her motives.
And yeah, this wasn't just a one-time thing. It was kind of a pattern. Back in 2022, a plaid outfit she wore to promote a children's book was called playful but not glamorous enough. Then, more recently, a sheer shirt and skirt combo was called inappropriate for a morning show. And right after that, another sheer top got the same kind of side-eye. So you start to see this theme, right?
Okay, but that's just one tiny piece of the puzzle, and to be honest, it's not even the most important part of what was happening. So let's flip the script. Because while all those articles about her clothes were making the rounds, Kristen Bell was using her fame for something completely different, and a lot spicier, literally.
So around that same time, she went back on the show Hot Ones for their big holiday special. Now, if you haven't seen it, it's this huge web series where celebrities have to eat chicken wings that get hotter and hotter while answering interview questions. It is intense, to say the least.
But here's the thing. She wasn't just there to sweat and talk about her movies. The real goal, the whole reason for this holiday special, it was all to raise money for a brand new charity partner, the International Rescue Committee.
Okay, so what exactly is the International Rescue Committee? What does it mean to support them? Because this wasn't just some small gesture. She was throwing her weight behind a really, really big and impactful organization. Let's dig into what they actually do.
So the International Rescue Committee, or the IRC for short, is a massive global humanitarian aid organization. And get this, they have over 90 years of experience. 90 years! They're on the ground, responding to some of the world's absolute worst humanitarian crises.
And their reach is just staggering. We're talking about life-saving work in more than 40 countries. 40! And on top of that, they also help refugees resettle in places like the US and Europe. This is a truly global effort.
Now, this part is so important. The IRC is also known for being incredibly efficient with its money. You know, they always get top ratings from charity watchdogs. And here's why. A whopping 87% of the money they get goes directly into their programs. That means when people donated during that Hot One special, their money was actually making a real difference.
And what are those programs? Well, they focus on the absolute basics, the pillars you need for a stable life. Things like health, safety, education, economic well-being, and empowerment. So it's not just about getting people through a crisis, it's about helping them rebuild their entire lives. Okay, so let's zoom back out and put these two pieces together. You've got this one story, which is all about a microscopic analysis of a blouse. And then you have this other story happening at the same time about using a massive platform to do real, life-changing work. That is the paradox right there.
In this whole situation, it really makes you stop and think, right? It makes you ask a pretty big question about our culture. In this endless cycle of news and social media where we see both the gossip and the good deeds, what do we actually pay attention to? What do we choose to focus on? When you boil it all down, this whole thing really just shows you what modern fame is all about. It's a classic double-edged sword, isn't it? A celebrity's life is this weird mix of the totally trivial and the deeply profound. You can be judged for your outfit on a Tuesday, while on Wednesday you're helping raise money for something that will literally save lives. So, I'll leave you with this final thought.
In a world that is just overflowing with commentary, with hot takes and criticism, what is the real way to measure a celebrity's impact? Is it the headlines they grab for a day, or is it the actual tangible change they help create